This is FinTech Futures reporting from FinovateFall, and I'm joined by Charm Security's Roy Zur. Roy, thank you so much for taking the time out to speak with us today. I guess to get started, would like to quickly give us an introduction to yourself and what you do at
Sure, yeah. So my name is Roy Zur. I'm the co-founder and CEO of a company called Charm Security. So we are a company fighting scams, social engineering, and human-centric fraud. So every situation where an attacker is using not just hacking a system or I would say account takeover, but more around tricking a user, manipulating your customer, your member as a financial institution into doing something that is going to cause them harm. So that could be sending money to a scammer or giving access to a scammer. So our main goal is, we are called Charm because our main goal is to break the scam spell. So we actually train our AI agents and models, not just to detect that something is off, but also how to effectively communicate that with the legitimate user, like the customer or the member of the financial institution.
Excellent. Sounds great. And I guess, how did the idea for Charm Security come about then? What was it that made you really want to start this company?
Yeah, so I've been in the cyber intelligence space for the past, I would say, 22 years. First 10 years as a government agency in the Israeli cyber intelligence agencies like the NSA of Israel. Later as an attorney around financial crime. And for the past few years, it was more around like as an entrepreneur in previous companies that dealt with cybersecurity. And I always focus on the human factor in cybersecurity, like how attackers are using social engineering and manipulation. But it was always focused on protecting the organization itself from the inside, like employees. And the bigger problem is actually not just the employees within the organization, but how every one of us, you, me, our families and friends and loved ones, are being targeted by attackers. So I actually wanted to create something with more impact, and that's what led me to start Charm Security.
Excellent. Sounds great. So what are some of the key use cases for your platform then, in particular in financial services?
Yeah, so you can think about our solution as a combination of a fraud and security expert, like an AI agent that is really understanding fraud and security, but also has deep understanding of human behavior and psychology. And then the main use cases that right now are being used by banks and credit unions are situations where you have a legitimate user. Like, I'm a customer of a specific bank. I'm going to take an action. This is me who's taking the action. So it's not somebody took over my account, but the action I'm going to take is going to cause me harm. I don't know that. I'm going to transfer this money. I'm going to buy this ticket. I'm going to do this thing. And the main use case is that our system allows the bank or the credit union both to identify that that may be a scam, but also to effectively communicate it with the user, either directly, autonomously, with an AI agent that tells you in the app immediately when you're going to transfer the money or pay to something that, hey, you need to be aware of that because ABC, but also the ability to help the team, the fraud team, the financial crime team, when they're engaging with the customer on how to effectively prevent that. So it goes beyond the detection into the actual intervention and prevention.
And I guess with the big leaps that are being made forward with AI now, especially in areas like deepfakes,
Yeah.
how much of an issue is AI fraud becoming in financial services?
Yeah, it's a huge issue because the thing is, it was always an issue, right? So scams are as old as time, and people were tricking others for forever, I guess. But now you actually have these boutique workshops for scammers that turn into factories. You have these scammers that can now operate farms of agents and fake accounts and I would say deceive and manipulate people at a much larger scale. So we start seeing year over the last few years, this is growing rapidly, even exponentially. And we only see even the tip of the iceberg, because what we found out is that most victims of scams are even not reporting it because it's, they're ashamed or they don't know what to do. So we estimate, or the Global Anti-Scam Alliance estimates, that this problem is $1 trillion problem every year. So this is a really, really big problem.
Yeah. So how does your AI technology help financial institutions during legitimate customer interactions and sophisticated social engineering attempts that might bypass traditional kind of security systems?
Yeah, so you can think about our solutions both from the bank or the financial institution side, but also from the customer side. So to the bank side, we provide agents and co-pilots that work hand in hand with their fraud teams, financial crime teams, security teams. So whenever they need to interact with the customer, whenever there is a specific flag, think about an AI agent that helps you, tells you, oh, this is what you need to ask, or this is based on what the customer is saying, this is what I think, and analyze it in real time. So this is the type of solution we provide to the team itself at the bank. And at the same time, we have AI agents and solutions that the bank can give to their end customers. So we are being deployed and embedded within apps of financial institutions, so the customer can actually ask their app, ask the web, their chatbot, questions around verifying specific situations, reporting specific fraud situations, getting direct assistance instead of going directly to the branch or talking to the fraud team. Our agents can help them self-serve, and kind of like both of these solutions together provide the full, I would say, holistic view of the scam prevention.
Excellent. And as scammers and fraudsters continuously evolve their tactics as well, I mean, how does your AI system adapt to learn and identify new patterns?
Yeah, it's very challenging to actually keep tracking, everything that is changing and trending. So we constantly collect data from scam reports, from dark web forums, from databases, from our partners. So eventually we train the model constantly. One of the most interesting ways in which we collect and train data is something that we call honeybots. Like honeypots in cybersecurity, where you create a place where you lure the attackers into that place. Our honeybots are pretending to be victims. These are AI agents that pretend to be victims, and they communicate with scammers and attackers around the dark web and around open forums, and they actually collect information about them and train our model based on how the attackers are communicating with them. So that's one way out of many ways in which we constantly train our models.
What advice would you give to financial services firms then when it comes to, I guess, how they should be approaching their strategies to tackling financial crime?
Yeah, so when you look at financial crime and fraud in general, most of the focus today of financial institutions is just around, or mostly around, identity and authentication. Like asking, are you? Are you the legitimate customer that is going to take the action? Which is still important, something to solve. But we advise financial institutions to look broader, in a broader view, and understand that there may be cases where, or most cases actually, where the customer is a legitimate customer, but they're being scammed, manipulated, deceived, tricked, use whatever word you want, into doing something that caused them harm. And my advice to financial institution is to build a scam defense strategy and think beyond the direct liability, meaning whether they are liable or not by the regulator. That's important, and that's also shifting, but think beyond that, because understand that scams is also affecting customer churn, is affecting reputation, is affecting operational costs, and the banks, credit unions, financial institutions need a broader strategy for their scam defense.
Sounds great. I guess to finish off here then, I mean, what's next in terms of, I guess, the near-term future for Charm Security? And is there anything in the pipeline you can tell us about now?
Yeah, so Charm is actually growing really fast. So we see the scam challenges among financial institutions in the United States, in Canada, UK, Singapore, Australia, and other countries. We started working with financial institutions. One of the most interesting parts that we've actually launching today is a partnership with a nonprofit organization called Give an Hour, which is an organization, a group or network of psychologists, clinicians, and a peer support group with trauma-informed people that will help financial crime victims and will help scam victims in recovering and in, I would say, providing more emotional support. Because one of the things we see with Charm is that we want to train our agent not just to identify and prevent the financial harm, but also to understand the emotional toll around that. And what we are launching with Give an Hour is the ability both to bring data from victims and family members and clinicians into the model, but also to train the model in order to support victims in real time, and if needed, to refer them to help, because unfortunately, scams and financial crime cause more than financial damage. They cause and cost human lives in many, many cases.
Sounds great, and like I said, good luck with everything going forward as well, Roy. Thank you so much for taking the time out to speak with us today. It's been a pleasure, and like I say, enjoy the rest of the conference.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thanks.